Making sense of the new continuing professional development regulations, or CPD, for the state of California for psychologists. At first glance, it can be a little bit confusing, a little bit overwhelming, but it actually is not all that complicated if you spend a few minutes looking through some of the requirements. There will be an accompanying link to the Board of Psychology's regulations. If you don't have that, just simply do an internet search and look for CPD regulations, and there's a very good frequently asked questions section. So one of the first questions is, when does this take place? For anyone whose license renewal is due January 1st, 2024 or thereafter, you need to follow the new regulations. It has nothing to do with when you obtained the CPD hours. It is totally based on when your license renewal date is. In 2023, you could use either the older system or the new regulations, but in 2024, you have to use the new CPT regulations. So a couple of the main points. For those of you who do not like continuing education courses, that's not going away, but it becomes one of the many ways you can meet the CPD requirements. It is still subsumed, but it is no longer required. Now, also, live CEs are gone. Kaput, goodbye. No longer have to worry about those. There are 4 categories of continuing professional development. And unless you are ABEP certified during your license renewal period, you must complete activities from at least 2, although you can complete them from 3 different categories. Now, if you've completed ABEP certification, congratulations, kudos to you. That's quite an accomplishment. And the board has given you a free pass for this licensing renewal period. The 4 hours of law and ethics and 4 hours of either social justice or diversity are still required. You can obtain them through CEs, but you can also obtain them in other learning categories. So for example, if you give a presentation or you publish an article on any of these topics, that will satisfy the 4 hours in either of these categories, either of these social justice or law and ethics. CE courses still exist as a way of satisfying CPD requirements, and they fall under category 3 requirements. What is different is that of the 36 hours required, you can only obtain a maximum of 27 hours through CE courses. All of the Zor Institute courses are considered category 3 requirements. Now, of the other 2 categories, there are also maximum hours that are allowed. So there's category 1, which is professional activities. And there's a limit to how many hours for each of the options in the professional activities, which again, you can review on the board's website using the link that's accompanying this. And professional activities range, they're very specific about it. It can be attending a board meeting, it can be providing consultation, it can be an expert witness to the board. There's a number of different ways you can meet those requirements. Category 2 are academic. If you teach a course, if you publish, other different forms of meeting this requirement. The last thing to just emphasize is careful record keeping is an absolute must. The board is very clear that they will be doing random audits, and simply just saying, well, on such and such a date, I participated in such and such may or may not suffice. So again, on this link that we're going to provide, or do an internet search on CPT requirements, the board is very clear on what constitutes adequate documentation. So in summary, 36 hours is still required. Live CEs have gone away, and you must meet requirements through more than one of the really three categories. Category 4, if you get board certified, is the only category you can meet all of your requirements from.